Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a aprender sobre los imperativos, commands. Specifically, we're going to learn about commands using tú. We're also going to learn about commands using usted, but that will be in a future video. So, imperativos con tú. So, when are these used? Command verbs are used when you want to tell another person what to do. Some examples would be a military officer giving orders, a teacher giving instructions, telling someone how to cook a recipe, or giving someone directions to your house. These will look really familiar because I give you instructions all the time, and I give you those instructions in the command form. Escribe tu nombre. Saca un libro. You're used to hearing these. So, positive to commands, such as turn right, sit down, do your homework, they're very easy. Even though you're talking to a tú, a you use the él, ella present tense form of the verb to command someone. It's worth noting that stem changes do apply, so our boot verbs like duerme and juega are going to have that stem change in them. Some examples would be toma, escribe, baila, and lee. Do those sound familiar? They should, because you hear them all the time when we do TPR. So every one of these verbs is going to either end in an A or an E when it's in the positive form. In the negative form, okay, things like don't eat that, don't talk, it's a little more complicated, but not too hard. First, you say no. That's the don't part. Then you apply the tú verb ending for the opposite type of verb. By that I mean you use the AS ending for ER and IR verbs, and you use an ES ending for AR verbs. So, comer would turn into no comas, don't eat, and hablar would turn into no hables, don't talk. Ahora a practicar. ¿Cómo se dice en español dance and don't dance? The verb is bailar. The positive form is baila, and the negative form is no bailes. You can see that the A in baila turns into an ES in the don't form, no bailes. How about another? ¿Cómo se dice en español eat and don't eat? The verb is comer. That's right. Eat is come and don't eat is no comas. ¿Cómo se dice en español wait and don't wait? The verb is esperar. The positive form is espera, and the negative form is no esperes, don't wait. ¿Cómo se dice en español clean and don't clean? Nobody will ever tell you that, but don't clean. Limpiar. That's right. Clean is limpia, and don't clean is no limpies. ¿Cómo se dice en español sleep and don't sleep? The verb is dormir, but keep in mind that this is a stem changing verb. The two forms are duerme and no duermas. You've probably heard me say both of those things in class. ¿Cómo se dice en español think and don't think? The verb is pensar, and it's another stem changer. The positive form is piensa, and the negative form is no pienses. Okay, one more. ¿Cómo se dice en español mix and don't mix? The verb is mezclar. Mix is mezcla, and don't mix is no mezcles. Okay, so that's pretty simple, but just like any rule, this one has some exceptions. Luckily, I have an easy mnemonic for you to help hopefully remember these. So this is Vin Diesel, of course, and we need to remember that ven di sal, asten veponse. So these are the exceptions to the rule. We have venir, which turns into ven, decir, which turns into di, salir, which turns into sal. So ven di sal, and then hacer turns into haz, tener turns into ten, ir, to go, turns into ve. This is weird because ver, to see, also turns into ve. Okay, so it means both go and see. Poner turns into pon, and ser turns into se. Okay, so if you can remember ven di sal, asten ve ponse, then you can remember the exceptions in the imperative form. All of those have a negative form, and a lot of them have random G's in them. Okay, remember the yogo verbs like digo, oigo, tengo? That also happens in the imperative form. The negatives have G's. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So ven turns into no vengas, di, no digas, don't say. Sal, no salgas, don't leave. Haz turns into no hagas, ten turns into no tengas, ve turns into no vayas. This one again is weird. Ir is just a weird verb. It's weird in every form and in a different way each time. And pon turns into no pongas, se turns into no seas. Okay, so those are our negative commands. Imperativos negativos. So here's our positive exceptions. Here's our negative exceptions. Ahora a practicar. ¿Cómo se dice en español leave and don't leave? The verb is salir. The two forms are sal and no salgas. ¿Cómo se dice en español make the bed and don't make the bed? The verb for make is hacer. Hopefully you know the rest. Okay, the two forms are haz la cama and no hagas la cama. ¿Cómo se dice en español be positive and don't be lazy? The verb is ser. Be positive is sé positivo, unless you're talking to a girl. And don't be lazy is no seas perezoso. Finally, ¿cómo se dice en español have a pencil and don't have your phone? The verb is tener. The correct answers are ten un lápiz and no tengas tu teléfono. Muchas gracias por escuchar. Les extraño mucho y les veo otro día. Nos vemos entonces.